Games has suffered its greatest blow yet. And that is a decision by Australia to remove all funding from their team. This is huge. This is massive.
Prince Harry and Meghan are reportedly facing growing pressure as questions continue to swirl around the future of the Invictus Games. Some critics even believe the event could be at risk if its financial challenges continue. And if that happened, many people think it would leave Harry without one of the biggest public causes connected to his image. The Invictus Games were created to celebrate wounded and injured service members, giving them a chance to show incredible strength, determination, and resilience after everything they have sacrificed for their countries.
Exclusive. This is huge news about Prince Harry and Invictus. His games could get cancelled.
Now this is seismic. This is the biggest royal story of the year. This is an unmitigated disaster.
Harry has often said the games are one of the most meaningful parts of his life, and he regularly speaks about how deeply he cares for the veterans who take part. But while those speeches sound inspiring, some critics argue that words alone are not enough. A number of veterans and commentators have publicly expressed frustration, saying they feel the spotlight has sometimes shifted away from the competitors themselves. They question whether the focus should always remain on the athletes rather than on the high-profile guests attending the event.
Or suggests that the 2025 Games in Canada were overshadowed by Meghan Markle's public appearances, referring to the event as the Meghan Games.
That criticism grew louder after Meghan Markle's appearances at recent games. Some commentators argued that the attention surrounding her fashion, public appearances, and media coverage became one of the biggest talking points instead of the veterans and their achievements. Whether people agree or not, that debate has continued to follow the event. Actions often speak louder than promises, and many supporters say the veterans deserve to be the clear focus every single time.
Apparently, Boeing, which has been a major sponsor of the Invictus Games in Canada, has pulled out. And they're not going to be sponsoring the next event here in the UK in Birmingham next year in 2027.
That's why every decision surrounding the games now receives intense attention from both supporters and critics alike. Reports have suggested that several sponsors have decided not to continue their support, and many observers believe the ongoing controversy may have played a role in those decisions.
The UK have pledged, they've underwritten 26 million quid for next year's Birmingham Games, but they will only release that money if Invictus raise enough money for the games to go ahead. So currently, the UK government has given them approximately 3 million quid of that underwritten 26, which means Invictus have got to raise a lot of money between now and next year for the games to go ahead in its entirety. And it doesn't seem like it's doing too well.
If sponsorship continues to decline, some fear the long-term future of the Invictus Games could become much more uncertain. That would create a difficult situation for Harry because the games have become one of the causes most closely linked to his public identity. Losing that connection while already facing heavy public scrutiny would likely create even more challenges for him. Many discussions have centered on the Vancouver Games, where critics claimed Meghan received an unusually large amount of media attention.
Harry ceases to be involved in the Invictus Games. All the sponsors will be back. Just imagine if Sir David Beckham was the head of the Invictus.
Oh, wow.
It'll be bigger than the World Cup. Right, Boeing, they will literally, and Airbus. All of those guys will be back.
Author Tom Bauer even referred to the event as Meghan's Games, a nickname that sparked plenty of debate. Supporters disagreed with that label, while critics argued it reflected how much coverage focused on Meghan instead of the competitors. According to reports, major sponsors including Boeing chose not to continue their sponsorship. Boeing was far from the only company mentioned, as several multinational businesses were also reported to have stepped away.
The amazing Mike Tyndall, if he was the head of Invictus, bang, they are back. There's so many people that could do it.
Yeah. And Tom Brady owns Birmingham City Football Club as well. They could get him involved. He could donate a few million. He's got enough.
Brady would be a triumph. I mean, almost anybody would be better than those two.
Replacing large corporate sponsors is never easy, especially when millions of pounds in funding may be involved. Funding has become another major issue. Reports claim organizers expected the full financial commitment to become available immediately. Instead, they were reportedly told that additional funding would depend on securing enough private sponsorship first. Out of a reported £26 million commitment, only around £3 million has reportedly been released so far.
The Invictus Games, and there are reports now that the Invictus Games could get cancelled despite the Royals' best efforts to raise support and money for the event during his visit to the UK.
If those reports are accurate, that amount would cover only a small portion of what is needed to organize an international sporting event on this scale. That leaves one enormous question hanging over everything. Where will the remaining money come from if more sponsors choose not to participate? Many commentators argue that companies are not stepping back because they have stopped caring about wounded veterans. Instead, they believe businesses are making decisions based on concerns about leadership, public perception, and the controversy surrounding the event.
So there's no money. There's no... All the other charities were a disaster. Invictus is Harry. Harry is Invictus.
Yeah.
And you're telling me it could be cancelled.
Others strongly disagree and continue to support Harry's involvement, making this one of the most debated topics connected to the games. Some critics even argue that new leadership could improve relationships with corporate sponsors and help shift public attention completely back to the athletes. Whether that would actually happen remains a matter of opinion, but it is a view that continues to gain attention online. According to reports, the Australian government, which had previously been expected to provide financial support, is also no longer planning to contribute in the same way. That has only added more questions about the event's financial future. Critics argue that public attention should stay firmly on the veterans rather than on ongoing celebrity headlines.
Netflix have got money. Netflix could easily, if they're such good friends with the Sussexes, they could say, all right, here's 10 million.
Yeah.
We're not going to see that money again, but it's for a good cause. And they did produce the Heart of Invictus TV series they done a few years ago.
Yeah.
They could easily do 10 mil. But even Netflix aren't wanting to get involved in it.
You're so right. It could easily be a nice headline for them. Netflix save Invictus.
Yeah.
And they could cover themselves in glory. And it's damning that they shouldn't step in.
If funding challenges continue and additional sponsors cannot be secured, some observers believe the future of the Invictus Games could become increasingly uncertain. While no final decision has been announced, the speculation alone has created intense discussion. That also raises another question. If the Invictus Games were ever to disappear, what would that mean for Harry? Since stepping back from royal duties, he is no longer a working royal, even though he remains a prince by birth. With the games playing such an important role in his public identity, many people are watching closely to see what happens next. Right now, many people believe the Invictus Games are the biggest connection Harry still has to public life. That is why all the attention is focused on what happens next.
I mean, they've lost all of their key backers. They've lost the fellow celebrities. So Oprah, Sir Elton, Gwyneth, the Clooneys, the Obamas. It's my understanding that Harry is particularly heartbroken that George Clooney is no longer interested in, having any relationship at all, and that George Clooney is all in with William and Charles.
Yeah.
So they've lost the celebrities, they've lost the charity sector, and they're losing the corporate backers too. Big business.
If the games continue to face financial uncertainty, some critics say it could seriously damage one of the last major causes closely associated with his public image. His speaking appearances have reportedly become less frequent, reducing another possible source of income and visibility. Other charitable projects have also faced challenges. Sent a Ball, the charity Harry co-founded in Africa, has gone through its own period of controversy, and Harry is no longer involved in leading the organization. That is why some commentators say Harry and the Invictus Games have become closely linked. If the games struggle or lose momentum, many believe it would be a significant setback for his reputation. Some people expected Netflix to step in and help because the company already worked with Harry and Meghan on Heart of Invictus. But despite that existing relationship, Netflix has not announced any sponsorship for the games.
I have been told that he actually has asked Elton to give him some money for Invictus. Elton has said no because this court case is such a big deal now. He asked Elton before the judge came down with the ruling, but Elton kind of saw where the wind was blowing and he was like,
According to reports, the company appears to be focusing on other priorities rather than expanding its involvement. Some commentators believe Netflix is being cautious after previous business decisions involving the couple reportedly fell short of expectations. Whether that is the reason or not, the company has shown no public sign of becoming a major financial supporter of the event. Attention has also turned towards several of Harry's well-known celebrity connections. Tyler Perry, who previously offered support after Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties, has not publicly stepped forward regarding the games. Oprah Winfrey, whose interview with the couple became one of the biggest television events in recent years, has also remained silent on the funding questions. Reports have also linked Elton John to the discussion, with claims that he is not looking to become financially involved. While those reports continue to circulate, there has been no indication that any of Harry's famous supporters are preparing to solve the sponsorship challenges facing the games. Meanwhile, another question continues to spread across social media and among commentators. If other international sporting events for veterans can operate with much smaller budgets, why has funding become such a major concern here? That debate has fueled growing calls from some critics for greater financial transparency regarding how resources are allocated. At the same time, Birmingham, the city expected to host the event, has faced well-publicized financial challenges of its own. Because of that, some observers wonder whether hosting such a large international event could become even more difficult if additional sponsorship is not secured. If funding remains tight, organizers may have to make difficult decisions. The games could become shorter, fewer competitions might take place, accommodation costs could be reduced, and the overall event could end up much smaller than originally planned. Supporters hope that does not happen, but many acknowledge the financial pressure is real. For now, Harry faces one enormous challenge. Securing millions of pounds in sponsorship will not be easy, especially if companies remain hesitant to commit. Without stronger financial backing, uncertainty could continue to hang over future editions of the Invictus Games. Even if next year's event moves forward successfully, many observers believe the long-term future will depend on attracting stable sponsors and rebuilding confidence. Until that happens, questions about the games are likely to continue. So now it's over to you. Do you think the Invictus Games will overcome these financial challenges, or do you believe major changes are inevitable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might find the discussion interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.